Thank you so much. I'm really honored that I could come here and be a part of this ceremony. In many ways, I'm really be in the dais with so much of dignitaries, with so much of which I believe it's a great occasion to remember, as our chief guest said about the memory part of it. Cinema really is about it. If I remember my younger days and when I was in one way or another way, when I was in Film Institute during 1974. 1974, I remember that with the Girish Kasravalli here, Janu Barua, Shabana Asmi, and Ompuri, and many persons like from different places, like in Orissa, in many areas. When they come there, and then we meet each other in a small place in Film Institute in Pune. I always believe that that was a small place where the whole country come there and then discuss there. We feel each other. More than that, discussing the idea of cinema, but then we watch cinema. We debate in different emotions, different perspectives, and different interpretations. And but after 3 years, when we leave from the institute, and still we could travel with the time with the people whom I had as a friend, and they are still some of the best filmmakers which I could able to recollect as memories. Like Girish Kasravalli here, where I know that I, I was the, in the hostel. My room was just opposite to his room. We remember then when the Girish comes there in the morning for a coffee, or I go there to borrow a little sugar from his room. All those matters when you recollect it back as a filmmaker, as a somebody that from the student days to now onwards, we are still the students of cinema. That's where our strength remains there. While I passed out, or even that convocation, I remember that Ray was the chief guest there. Ray was telling, he saw my film. Then I was there as a cinematography student, and then he watched my film. Fortunately, I had a gold medal there in that particular batch, where Ray came down and looked at me, and then he said, Film Institute has graduated into the film industry standard. That's what he said to me. And later part in my life, when I was the person to start the first Film Academy of India, which is Kerala State Chalichitra Academy, which I introduced International Film Festival of Kerala. That time, Mrunalda was the chief guest there. Mrunalda was he was sick there, in the sense that he could not able to, whether we feared whether he can come there, but he came down. And said, this is the moment for me to be with you. This is the academy, or this is the first film academy in the whole of nation, where I wish. He was running temperature, and then we know that he came down for a good reason, that the people around you to see that the warmth which he shared with us, in spite of his a kind of invalidity in that time with his cold fever or other, that the amount of warmth which he shared there, I still remember it. As that the cinema here, when we sit here, when we watch the cinema, there are a lot of idea of how the time passes in front of you, how your memories comes in front of you. how your memories are returned back to you, how the memories are being seen as images, how many images are being seen as memories. And these are the cinema's most versatile way of understanding that, knowing the images as your emotions. And finally, if you look at it, emotions, the emotions in five senses or six senses or even spirituality for that reason, cinema could be able to contribute to a lot of interpretations in various shades. And when we see this debut film, when from tomorrow onward, we remember that. What are the things which was hidden in your mind? Where the mind? How you call mind? Why you call the mind? Where is the mind? Whether it is heart, whether it is in your brain, or where does it, that's the placement which you remain as that gap, or will that time is filling up that gap, or the emotion that is filling up that interpretations. And that all a question for any filmmaker. How do you place it? But that is the main reason for any filmmaker always being remembered, even after an idea of the death, which for us, the idea of the death is how do we relate a filmmaker, how you see idea of them. It is memory, more than memory. I still revive with the life, full of life with so much of flowers in it. This matters a lot, why the stories are being told, why stories being imagined, why stories are not told with no stories. And these are the interpretation of any filmmaker as a challenge. We see that in the old days of technology, which I remember that I started with 8mm, 16mm, 35mm, CinemaScope, 70mm, and now digital. And when you look at the entire our life, we could able to transform from one to another, and one to another, one to see. Still, where the memory comes, like, idea of being, if you fall back the analog times, when you see that technology which is being brought into your life, where you can capture. When I remember that one of the film which I was photographing for Aravindan, and I get it only say about 2 hours, that is too light. I wanted to get the too light in the entire period of the whole story is being told at the time of the too light. That too light, 17 days I had to shoot it, but then early morning or the evening were our shooting time. But that time, the actors, the performers, the crew, all of the team to capture that moment and capture that interpretations of that delight in various shades and without uh, uh, saying that there's a gap in between the idea of being emotions. And that comes out certain kind of commitment for all of us to say why we are here and why Karnataka cinema, why Bengali cinema, why Malayalam cinema, why Oriya cinema, Marathi cinema, the Tamil cinema, Telugu cinema, whatever it may be. But like the alphabet in for me is a sound, like, when you write Bengali, you write different, but in Kannada it is write different way. Malayalam it is write different alphabet. Still, we pronounce the same sound. That is cinema. We understand and then feel the emotions. We also understand this is where we are, where the time is, where we belong, where that time has no past, present, and future. It's more related to idea of the spirituality or the sixth sense. So I congratulate Satyajit Ray Film Society for conducting this event, which is fifth at the moment. But it has said that to me, in one way or another way, the amount of commitment, the amount of seeing cinema as your own or anybody's emotions, or far beyond that thing. Like when a sunset, it is the same color. Once the same, when it rises, also the same color. In between, there is a darkness, but it connects. That is where the sun left, we know it. But beyond that thing, the emotions connected together. That's this society done it. Thank you for inviting me to be here. Thank you so much. All the best for the festival also.